Hello my friends and welcome. This is the latest update from Ukraine. Let's go straight to Avdiivka because Russians continue to propel towards that village in attempt to encircle it, mostly from the north. Today they took some of the ground actually, but in general all of their forces are under constant Ukrainian artillery attack. Again, we have many of the drone videos showing that the Russian convoys were just ambushed. I'm gonna show them to you later in this video. Well, about the advancement of the Russian army, they're more closer to that hill. Actually, they were there already around 5 days ago, but went under the fire and were forced to retreat by around 1 kilometer. So today they had the attempt to move towards the hill. They already proclaimed that they've took it under control, but that information appeared to be false. We have more data from the other resource, so actually Russia took the ground, not a lot, but they're not able to take this hill. We call it Terikon. It is very close to the coal mine. So this hill is over here. Also Russia advances from Krasnogorivka. They have this vector of attack, but today all of the attacks were repelled by Ukrainian defenders. Some of the crazy numbers of the Russian losses start to appear in internet. Indeed, yesterday it was the biggest demolishment of the Russian army probably since the beginning of this war. Last year they tried to move across the river near to Bilohorivka, not far away from the Severodonetsk. Finally they took the Severodonetsk, but in a different way. Their landing operation was totally kaboomed by Ukrainian army, and there Russia had tremendous losses. The same for yesterday and basically for the recent 10 or even 11 days. So honestly, I don't see the perspective for the Russian army to encircle Avdiivka with the current resources available for them. Moreover, they're now in lack of resources to continue their massive attacks. Probably they'll switch to Ukrainian tactics to assault with the small groups, but the problem for the Russian army that they haven't passed the special training as Ukrainian soldiers did in the Western allied countries. So the tactics of the Russian army is totally different. They fight as in a World War II with large armies. Also their army units are quite demilitarized now, so they're unable to perform the small, very precise attacks. Also they're in lack of the special equipment to provide their soldiers with adequate quality thermal cameras and night vision tools. Also, it seems like the Russian artillery works very bad. Our artillery is way more precise. We have counter-artillery radios, especially if we speak on the south. There we cause Russian army severe losses in their artillery, especially around the sand pit near to Kherson. So just a couple of days ago it was the successful landing operation of Ukrainian army in that area. Actually our guys were able to capture some of the Russian commanders who opened the positions of the Russian forces in that sector, so Ukraine started to open lots of the artillery fire towards the enemy positions, and that is why our guys were able to propel forward. However, now it is quite dangerous to move more because Russia may target our guys with their artillery, and now with our artillery we are not letting it to happen. If our soldiers go, for example, to Cheboda, they need more reinforcements. There will be no cover from the Ukrainian artillery, so they have to take artillery with them, and for now it's also risky. Nevertheless, the news about the successful Ukrainian landing operation in Kherson Oblast are quite encouraging, and probably there will be more massive counterattack of Ukrainian army. We'll see it. The information about the second landing point somewhere near to Krinky has not yet been confirmed. Some good news on the northern front lines. There Ukraine was able to take some ground. There is no update about it on this military map, but we have it from the other resource. So here Ukraine gained more ground before Russia performed the counterattack, and they pushed the Ukrainian army further from Ivanivka village, but now Ukraine gained the previously lost territory. Again, let's return to the failed Russian Avdiivka operation. Some resources say that Russia lost nearly 200 of the tanks and heavy armored vehicles on this direction for the last 11 days. Not sure if those numbers are correct, but for yesterday there were around 60 with something tanks. I'm still waiting for the Oryx resource update because they are more or less reliable. They analyze all of the footages coming from the front lines. The number that I heard for yesterday, that Russia lost 55 of the tanks, I think is still quite unreal. Maybe totally combined with armored vehicles, yes, it could be. Here we have the Ukrainian statistics. Honestly, I do not trust it because Ukraine is the side of this war. It is more profitable for morale to boost the losses of your enemy and lower your losses. So Ukraine says that for the recent 10 days Russia lost 218 tanks. I think that this number is unreal because according to all of the photos and videos that I watched from the place, there are not such tremendous losses. They are still tremendous, but this would be just disastrous for the Russian army as we know it. 8,970 army personnel. I think this number is also too large for the single attack. Maybe here we're speaking for total losses from all of the front lines for the recent 10 days. Well, it could be because Russia also attacked on the north, and on the south they have losses, especially in their artillery. Here we see the general picture of Avdiivka. There are lots of the Ukrainian forces inside the city, so Russia wanted to encircle them with their attacks. Russia was totally unsuccessful on the south. Yes, they took the small ground, but not more than that. And on the north they moved a little, but were not successful in taking even the nearby hill and the only road that goes from Avdiivka to the other Ukrainian-controlled territories, cities, villages, whatever. Still, Russia has many of the forces, but little by little they are fading to black. My friends, before we watch some of the footages from the drone, I want to tell you that I have the Telegram channel, and there I may post basically everything connected to our topic. I'm quite limited to post here on this platform. Probably you understand why. So to be more updated, please visit my Telegram channel, and there I post everything. For example, you may find the full video of the so far last attack of the Russian army close to Avdiivka. Here, unfortunately, I'll just show you the screenshots explaining what was happening. So here we have many of the armored vehicles of the Russian Federation, and they go forward. On the front we have the tank, which carries the demining tool on the front. We call it plug. It creates this road free of the mines. So far so good, they're moving forward, creating this road for the convoy. However, Ukraine started to shell the convoy, immediately demolishing the third vehicle. A little later, the fifth vehicle was hit. Miraculously, all of the vehicles, even those which were hit, continued the movement. The demining vehicle on the front makes a U-turn. But because of the damages, the third vehicle is unable to pursue the main one. The fifth vehicle that was hit also loses the power, and other vehicles start to bypass them. At that particular time, Ukrainian artillery intensifies the fire on this convoy. Because of that, the vehicles are unable to continue their movement, and they start to make U-turns from their current positions. 4 vehicles from the very tail of the convoy made the successful U-turn. But Ukraine intensifies the fire on the vehicles that were stuck over there, and Russia loses many of them. This is kind of the unique drone video because it shows the ambushment of the Russian convoy from the very start till the very end. As you can see, the Russian generals continue to use their army as if they are on parade. Well, probably it was their main training before the war in Ukraine. The straightforward movement across the field to prepare the Ukrainian positions. Yes, logic, where are you? About the Russian attack helicopters K-52, which were under the ATACMS fire in Berdyansk airfield, we have this photo of the part of the cockpit. And there you may see lots of the holes from the cluster munition. 100% this helicopter will not fly again without the heavy maintenance and replacement of the many expensive parts. Just look at this canopy, the glass. Even before, I suspected that this curved glass cannot be bulletproof, and from what I see, it really doesn't. Just a simple glass canopy, probably just the forward part is bulletproof. That is why they put this bulletproof plate on the side, increasing the weight of the helicopter. Speaking about the Apache helicopter, it has bulletproof windows all around. According to the recent report, Russia lost 10 of those helicopters of K-52. It's very rare for the Russian army, so probably they have not more than 30 of helicopters of that type. Continue with aviation news. Russian Air Force lost Ilyushin-76 transport airplane in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. So far, I'm out of clue of what happened over there. Probably the runway excursion. The airplane is totally kaput, but crew survived. The new military map update was just released while I'm recording this video, so we have some of the news from Klishivka. Ukrainian army has the success over there. So it was yesterday and it is today. It seems like Ukrainian army moves directly to Bakhmut or probably to Opytne, who knows. The news from Bakhmut are very encouraging. Just recently Ukraine moved more from Avdiivka and Klishivka, taking this bridgehead. The Russian army still holds, but Ukrainian army, as you see, propels forward. As for the situation in Avdiivka, enemy propelled a little forward with today's attack, but still not gaining the control over the very important places, so we may see that they're still away from Avdiivka itself. We also have the clarification of the south front lines, so it's not the movement of Ukrainian army. We have just a new update about who controls the particular ground. The same story near to Pesky, it was yesterday and it is today. Just the map clarification, it is not the Ukrainian army movement towards this place. However, there was a big kaboom today in Pisky because Ukraine aimed towards Solntseperk. It was tremendous firework, I might say, and to check out all of the image, please again go to my Telegram. The Ukrainian army was able to trophy some of the Russian new artillery munition, and what is interesting about it, that it is made in the North Korea. So definitely the containers which we saw on the satellite images in the North Korea, which were supplied to the Russian Federation, were fully loaded with artillery munition and other military stuff. Also, according to the Pentagon Report, China supplies some of the weaponry to the Russian Federation. The report says that mostly China supports the light munition, but still they are supporting it. Meanwhile, Ukraine has the continuous support from our allies. Germany will send the new military package for Ukraine, mostly concentrated on air defense. The White House administration calls for Congress to approve the deal for Israel and Ukraine. It's more than $100 billion. Ukraine alone might potentially receive around $60 billion, but it's not for this year or for the next year, it's the long-term military support. It's the first time I see the video like that. This robot, this is the Ukrainian robot, mines the fields and the roads remotely. It goes and just drops the anti-tank mines. As it was said by the Russian media, Putin went to Rostov-on-Don region today, where he met with General Commander of the Russian Army, Gasimov, and they were looking at the maps of how Russian forces are advancing near to Avdiivka. By the way, Gasimov said that everything is going according to the plan. Well, quite interesting plan out there. Russian soldiers usually hate their commander Gasimov and Defense Minister Shoigu. Because of this reason, Prigozhin was quite popular for some time. There is just a single remark I want to say about the situation around Israel. Hamas released 2 of the hostages. It happened for the first time since their attack of Israel, which happened around 2 weeks ago. The hostages were Americans, mother and her 17-year-old daughter. As you see, they are fine, so we have good news coming from that place. My friends, don't forget to press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, there will be some of the links in the video description just below. Special thanks for my Patreon supporters and the sponsors of my YouTube channel. Guys, you are awesome. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.